In this video we're going to be comparing the Saucony Endorphin Pro versus the brand new Hoka Carbon X Spe. Hey, what's up everyone and welcome back to Fordy Runs. Now if this is your first time at Fordy Runs, I want you to smash that little pink button down there that says subscribe on it. Go to our Facebook page and join the Fordy Runs running community and check out the description. There's loads of cool things down there. Right, like I said in the open, this week we're comparing these two carbon plated shoes to find out which one is the best. So let's get stuck in. Right guys, so here they are, these brand new carbon plated shoes. Very similar in some respects and very different in others. I think before we get into which one I prefer, let's get into some of these sort of features and stats like we always do. And we'll start off with the Hoka Carbon X Spe. So this is a sort of slightly cushioned marathon racing shoe with a carbon plate in it. You've got this amplified rocker design. You've got the ProFly X midsole, which is made up of this top layer, which is slightly softer, and the bottom layer, which is a little bit firmer, which aids the propulsion. You've got a molded external heel counter for the stability. You've got this technical upper, which features this booty construction. The shoe weighs 8.8 ounces. It's got 5mm drop, and it's £170, which is a lot of money. Then we come on to this thing of beauty, the Saucony Endorphin Pro. Now the carbon plated racing shoe. This shoe is, what is it? I think it's about £190 to £200 if you can get your hands on it because it's sold out everywhere. It's got a full length S-shaped carbon plate in it. You've got the Power Run PB midsole. The shoe is lighter than the Hoka at 7.5 ounces. It's got an 8mm drop, stack height of 35mm. Right, so where do we start? Let's talk about the Hoka first, I think. So I'm new to Carbon X. I didn't get the last one. And they made a few changes with the SPE, the booty construction, eyelet changes, a few overlays on the upper and the heel counter. But apart from that, it's pretty much the same. Oh, it's added a fraction of weight to it. I kind of dig it in a way and I kind of hate it in the other respect. I really like the ProFly X. I really like the rocker feeling. I like this whole midfoot area. I like the sort of lace in the lockdown feel you get from it. It really does provide a nice heel to toe transition, yeah, because obviously the rocker, but it's hard to explain it. But yeah, hopefully you'll know what I mean. It just feels great that you can just roll through it and you can sort of really kick on and maintain that speed. But at the same time, with the Hoka, with the ProFly foam in it, you do get that little bit of cush. So if you back off a little bit, you can still feel a little bit comfortable and you can maintain some speed in it. So yeah, it's okay. What I don't like about it is the booty construction. I don't find it that comfortable. It might sound really silly, but out of the booty construction uppers out there, I just find the fit a bit weird. It's not to my liking, but the biggest thing that is a concern for you guys maybe, because it's a bit annoying for me, is that it's quite narrow in here and I feel like my foot seems to lean towards the outside. Again, right, it's probably my running style, but I do find my foot in a really weird placement. Don't get me wrong, it's got better. When I first started it was like this, but now as I've bedded the shoe in, it's a little bit more my back, but as I get to like 10 miles, it's sort of, I don't know, it just drifts over and I sometimes get that heat spot there. So yeah, so that's a bit annoying, but overall, the shoe feels great. Now, into this bad boy, which is my current favourite. This just feels epic. The Power Run PB is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And it feels a much more traditional racing carbon plated shoe because it's got, just look at it, it just looks a lot more traditional. Where if you compare the two, how much stack this thing's got on it and all that sort of stuff, overall it just feels like a more natural shoe. I absolutely love the upper on this thing. Don't get me wrong, this has got a great upper. Hoka uppers are fantastic. This is really breathable, but this thing, it's like there's nothing there. It is fantastic. It's more of a traditional style of shoe, I would say. You get a nice lockdown with the lacing as well. But yeah, the ride, the Power Run PB with the speed roll is just awesome. And you just feel like you're running along like that. And it just wants you to just maintain that speed for long distance. It just feels great. This shoe really, really feels great. Yeah, there's not much else really I can say about this shoe other than the fact I love it. Comparing the two though, I think actually there are a reasonable comparison actually both these shoes. I know this is 190 to 200 pounds, this is 170 pounds. I would say this is probably a better training shoe versus this. So I would use both for marathon day, but I would say I would put more training miles in this than this. I've even done it now. I've parked this and I'm waiting for a race. That is what this now shoe is for. This though, I would happily drum up the miles and then take it to a race. If, let's say, this sounds silly, right? But let's say it wasn't an A race. So let's say I was just going along, like I do a lot of races, just for laughs, filming, that sort of stuff. I'd probably wear that instead of that. This shoe for me is for my A race, right? This is where I've got this penciled in. With this, I would quite comfortably go and it's going to sound very cocky, but knock out 26.2 miles, because no one can do that. But you know what I mean? So this is the sort of shoe that you could put on. You could run, 5-hour marathon, 4-hour marathon, 3-hour marathon. Where this thing, you'd be going for your absolute PB in it. And I think that's the best way to describe the two and compare the two. This is your A race shoe, and this is your sort of training and marathon shoe, but not necessarily chasing a time, but you'll probably achieve amazing things in this as well, I say, because it's got such great rocker, such great Pro-Fly and the carbon plate. But like I said, this is narrow, right? This is quite narrow, isn't it? Most Sauconys are narrow, but I really would recommend you try this out if you've got a slightly wider foot before you go out and start running marathons in it. So there you go. I think that's the takeaway. A race, training, and B races, both great shoes, offer something slightly different. But whatever happens, this is still my absolute favourite.